Yeah, because he did say that any Jewish person who voted for Joe Biden should be ashamed of themselves. I want to move on.
But he's made similar comments about a lot of different groups of people, Dana. I don't think anybody could look at the presidency and the conduct of Donald Trump and say, this is a person who's somehow anti-Semitic. And I think whether you're Jewish or not, you should be looking at the record of Joe Biden and
He had
saying,
dinner with Nick Fuentes, who is an avowed anti-Semite.
Dana, you should look at the record of Joe Biden and recognize that whether you're Jewish or not, his presidency has been a disaster for the American people.
That's CNN host and 2023 U.S. Dressage Festival champion Dana Bash attempting to smear Donald Trump in front of JD Vance. Unfortunately for her, Vance isn't having any of it. Welcome to Nerk News. I'm Nerkish, and Democrats are hemorrhaging voters from their base. Black and Hispanics are getting fed up. They're struggling with the youth vote, and now it seems like Jews may be jumping ship too. Instead of addressing any of these issues, Democrats have decided to send out marching orders to the talking heads and establishment media to once again try to paint Donald Trump as an anti-Semite.
We have to remember Donald Trump is very direct here.
But you said he was right.
And he hasn't singled out Jewish Americans. He singled out a lot of people for voting for Joe Biden and suggesting they've got to wake up and elect him as president in 2024. So I don't think there's any effort to single out Jewish Americans. And just on that particular question about tropes, I mean, look, we know that Jewish Americans and non-Jewish Americans care about our ally Israel. We know that Jewish Americans and non-Jewish Americans care a lot about these ridiculous protests. I actually have a friend of mine whose brother was graduating from Columbia who had the graduation ceremony canceled. And that's a non-Jewish person who cares a lot about these anti-Semitic protests. So I think the fact that Donald Trump is talking about Jews in that particular context does not mean he doesn't think the same lessons apply to a whole host of American citizens.
You know, it's a bit funny that they're making such a big deal of Trump saying Jews who vote for Biden should be ashamed, but didn't seem to bat an eye at Biden saying if black people don't vote for him, they're not black. And as for the Nick Fuentes thing, even NBC admitted that the former president was blindsided by having him crash that dinner. You know, Trump has been one of the most pro-Israel presidents in recent memory. By contrast, Fuentes is a 20-something who's been blacklisted into oblivion for his opinions. Do you really think Trump knows who the heck he is? It's pretty obvious that this is a tactic to distract from the mess Biden is in, which is why they brought out their other favorite smear.
2024, this election year that we're in, will you commit to accepting the results of this year's election?
Look, Dana, I totally plan to accept the results of 2024. I think that Donald Trump will be the victory. And if it's a free and fair election, Dana, I think every Republican will enthusiastically accept the results. And again, I think those results will show that Donald Trump has been elected president, been reelected president. I think that this question, though, it's interesting, Dana, because we have to be willing, as Democrats did in 2000, as Democrats have done in the past, and certainly as Republicans did in 2020, is if you think there were problems, you have to be willing to pursue those problems and try to prosecute your case. And certainly, if we have a free and fair election, I'll accept the results.
Even if Joe Biden wins?
Sure. If it's a free and fair election, I will accept the results, Dana, whoever wins.
You know, this interview may seem annoying, but it's actually a white pill in disguise because it really highlights how desperate they are. I mean, these are the worst attacks they can muster, easily disprovable nonsense, and the same stuff they've been peddling for the last 8 years. Doesn't sound like a good strategy to win back those disaffected Democrats to me. But let me know what you think. Do these pathetic attacks leave you feeling worried or hopeful? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. This stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!